Yo, what up, everybody? You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Not at the studio today, but still wanted to keep you guys in the loop on everything surrounding the New York Football Giants, as their latest injury report was just released, featuring Andrew Thomas, Azeez Ojualri, and Wan'Dale Robinson. Actually, only 3 players for Big Blue are going to be on that injury report. And WanDale Robinson is going to be listed as doubtful. Azeez Ojualri is going to be listed as doubtful. And Andrew Thomas is going to be listed as questionable. This is why you subscribe to the channel, though. So go down right now, hit that big red sub button, because whether we're at the crib, whether we're at the studio, we're going to do our best to keep you up to date on everything surrounding the New York Football Giants. So there was a lot of players this week that have been limited in practice and stuff like that, but everyone's attention has been on Andrew Thomas, Azeez Ojualri, and Wan'Dale Robinson. Let's start with Wan'Dale. Brian Daboll, back on Wednesday, said he would not be shocked if Wan'Dale Robinson would end up playing this Sunday. He said he's got a chance. The facts are, look, if you're listed as doubtful on the injury report on a Friday afternoon, you're probably not going to be ready to go this Sunday. So I would assume that Wan'Dale Robinson is going to be out, and this isn't really a shocker, or should not be a shocker to anybody out there. Remember, he tore his ACL in week 9 of last year. Hasn't even been 12 months since he has done so, but according to what I've heard and the people I've talked to, he looks good at practice. They're moving him along slowly and taking it really. They're just making sure that he's not being rushed. Because, look, second-round pick back in 2022. You don't want to rush him before he's ready, and then another injury pops up because that knee is not 100%. I would expect, though, for Wan'Dale Robinson to be much closer to go next Thursday against the San Francisco 49ers. If he doesn't go then I would have to say he's a for sure go in week 4. Because, look, if he was going to just miss the first 4 weeks, you should have just put him on the injured reserve list, which means you miss 4 weeks. But I would expect him to for sure play week 4. I would say there's a good chance he does play this Thursday, though, against the San Francisco 49ers. To Azeez Ojualri. Ojulari ended up hurting himself at Wednesday's practice. He's dealing with a hamstring injury. And it's just absolutely brutal because, look, Azeez Ojualri tore his ACL in high school, ended up being relatively healthy in college at Georgia, was healthy his first year, and then only played 7 games for the Giants last year. Had good production, though. I think from a tactic standpoint and just being a fluid pass rusher, he is the best on this Giants team at getting pressure and recording sacks. His pass rush win rate was one of the highest for the Giants last year on this team. And once again, he's injured, and I don't think he's going to play. I mean, if you are listed as doubtful on Friday, things could change. He could wake up Saturday, feel better. He could give it a go Sunday morning, rolling into Sunday afternoon in the desert, and end up playing. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think Wan'Dale Robinson is going to be out. I think Azeez Ojualri is going to be out. And I tweeted it out earlier this morning. We're going down the path of Azeez is going to end up being one of the biggest what-if players for the New York Giants in recent history, because we know how talented he is. We know how good of a football player he is. But sometimes the best ability is availability. And look, dating back to last year, the dude's played in just 8 football games. Not ideal for a guy that you took in the second round. Pretty unfortunate. I think that there was a stat prior to week 1 that Azeez Ojualri, Kayvon Thibodeaux, Dexter Lawrence, and Leonard Williams played less than 60 snaps all of the 2022 NFL season, and we only got 1 game of it, and it wasn't much of a game. It was really just Cowboys whooped our ass, and we didn't really get to see anybody really make an impact because nobody did. So I don't expect Azeez to play, and I don't expect Wan'Dale Robinson to play. To Andrew Thomas, probably the guy that everyone's worried about. I'm worried about him. Still dealing with that hamstring injury that he did suffer in the game this past Sunday night against the Dallas Cowboys. Look, I'd love for Andrew Thomas to be out there. But if he's not 100%, you got to weigh your options. Do you sit him week 2 and hopefully he's ready to go on Thursday against San Francisco, as you're going to be facing one of the best pass rushers in the NFL led by Nick Bosa? Or do you play like your season's on the line against the Cardinals, which it kind of is? If you go 0-2, you are fighting a steep uphill battle to try to turn around your season and make the NFL playoffs. Can the Giants beat the Cardinals without Andrew Thomas? I hope so. I think so. But do you want to run that risk? You go 0-2 heading into San Francisco on a short week on Thursday night, staying out west. It's going to be risky. I think if Thomas is anything above 80%, you got to give him a go. It's still the NFL. Any given Sunday. The Giants aren't a lock to beat the Cardinals. And look, it lowers your chances if Andrew Thomas doesn't play. I understand that he could hurt his leg further. And he talked about to a beat reporter, I think it was Dan Duggan, that had an ankle or foot injury. I think it was his sophomore year or his rookie year in the NFL. And he ended up playing on it when it was hurt. And it ended up getting worse. And it ended up putting him on IR. And we don't want that. That's the last thing we want. We need Andrew Thomas this season. But if he doesn't play and you lose week 2, and it's because Daniel Jones was under pressure constantly, and Matt Peart or Joshua Ezeudu, who I assume is going to be the fill-in at the left tackle spot if Thomas doesn't play, and they play awful, and that's the reason you lose, not going to look good. At the end of the day, you put player safety first. That's what you do as an organization. And I want Andrew Thomas to be healthy. But I also have to weigh the fact that Giants got to win this football game. You don't win this game, you are entering a death sentence for your season. Can you turn it around? Absolutely. Can you still make the playoffs? Absolutely. But the odds, dating all the way back to the merger of the NFL, they say if you start 0-2, your season is most likely cooked. So I want to ask you this question. If Andrew Thomas is 80% healthy, should he play this Sunday against the Arizona Cardinals? That's going to be the poll question for today's video. Should Andrew Thomas play if he's 80% healthy? Type Y for yes, you think he should play. Type N for no. Let me know what you think down in the comments section. All righty. Sunday. Quick keys to victory. You got to put pressure on Josh Dobbs. There's a reason that he has been a journeyman quarterback in his early stages of his career. Simply put, he's not that good. And you should be able to draw up a game plan, Wink Martindale, to stop Josh Dobbs and make his life hell. Key for offense. Key number 2, establish the run game. Get back to being the New York Giants that were one of the best teams in the NFL last season. That's what they were when they ran the football. When 26 was the head of the snake. Dominate the interior. Dominate the line of scrimmage. Build an identity. Because I think the days of the play action and the rollout and the sprint outs and the flats and the check downs and kind of just the trickiness that the Giants have been using the last 18 regular season games is done. Film's out there. People know what it is. It's not going to work. Establish an identity. And that is running the football. Number 3, I think it's pretty obvious. Protect Daniel Jones. Yes, the Arizona Cardinals had 6 sacks against the Washington Commanders, but they weren't just, I went back and watched the film. It wasn't just their defensive line and their front creating a whole bunch of havoc and pressure and sacks. It was more so cover sacks. They're decent on the back end. Protect Daniel Jones. Don't have him running for his life again. And I would say key number 4, play like your hair's on fire. Play like your season's on the line, because it absolutely is. Brian Daboll, Mike Kafka, Wink Martindale, have your teams and your units ready to play, because your season is on the line this Sunday against the Arizona Cardinals. We are going to get a quick look, as this is coming out as I'm recording this video, the Arizona Cardinals injury report, if anybody is interested in that. Budda Baker, star safety for the Arizona Cardinals, is questionable with a hamstring injury. Kelvin Beachum, offensive lineman, is questionable with a hand injury. And then Leaky Fotu, I believe is how you say his name, is questionable with a shoulder. I think he had a sack or a sack and a half on Sunday. LJ Collier, D lineman, out, and Josh Woods out. If Budda Baker does not play, that is a big, big, big loss for this Arizona Cardinals team. And it should be an area that the Giants attack on offense. We got to win this game. We have to win this game. Remember, we will be live on the channel an hour before kickoff. We're doing a watch party last week. Over 200,000 people tuned in to Sunday night's watch party. I can't wait for Sunday afternoon. Subscribe, turn your notifications on. Shout out to you guys. Hit that thumbs up icon on the way out. Love you. Let's go Big Blue.